Chamber, Jennifer Tripp, everyone at the Chamber, and American Alarm for hosting first. And I'm really happy to introduce Sally, who grew up in Ohio with two parents who taught their kids to put stuff away after it's used. So the next person can find it when they need it. Sounds like I need that. Recognizing that not all people are raised in organized households, Sally started her own professional organizing business as a service to those in need of guidance and support. She has seen firsthand how uncluttering can relieve stress, free up space, and save precious time. With a mission to donate, recycle, and reuse, clients can rest assured that their reusable, unwanted stuff can live to see another day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Thanks for coming out. Thank you, Chamber. Thanks, Jen and the committee. I wanted you to notice that there are no handouts. I'm not handing out anything to you for notes. I think a lot of that stuff is clutter. It usually ends up in the recycle bin or on people's desks forever. So I do have a sign-up sheet. I do have some forms that I have that are free downloadable forms that you can see copies of here if you're interested. I'll be happy to email stuff to you, but you know, as talk goes on, you can figure out if you'd like to have them or not. And I also wanted to say that if you want to put your card in my little cup here, we can pick out a winner for 2 hours of my organizing service in your home. So it's a gift certificate there. So thank you. You know, here we are talking about things mundane like laundry and grocery shopping and stuff like that. Why, all of us professionals, why are we talking about that? And it's not like I'm an expert on this. There's plenty of material out there, blogs, videos, magazines. They're all going to tell you how to do these things. But my approach to this is that I'd much rather be doing almost anything besides doing laundry or meal planning or cooking for my family. So I came up with a couple of systems that work for me and my family, and hopefully maybe you'll take a couple of tips out of what I show you and incorporate it into your own routine, or maybe it might encourage you to start your own, figure out your own way. And I hope that when we're done, we'll have enough time at the end so maybe you guys can share tips and tricks of your own with the rest of us. And at the end, I have what I'm calling life hacks, which are cool use and reuse of everyday items that people have figured out other lives or other uses for them. And I just thought they were really fun, and I wanted to share those with you guys too. Give you some maybe ideas on how to do some stuff a little bit easier. Okay, so let's talk about meal planning. Who loves to do meal planning? Raise your hand. Oh, we have some people. I love that. Well, maybe you can share, you can help us figure out how you do it too. So there's nothing worse than it being 6 o'clock. You're starving, your family's starving, they're looking at you. I hate that. What's for dinner? I actually asked my family, instead of saying what's for dinner, to say, is there a plan? Because that opens up anybody to jump in and say that. But this is when I started thinking way back when my family was new about how to make this easier, so we're not just focusing and rushing at the end of the day to try to eat when we're all starving. I heard about that movement of cooking for a day and feeding your family for a month. Sometimes it's called batch cooking or freezer cooking, and so I started looking into it. But the problem is when I researched, I started seeing a bunch of this stuff. Casseroles with things like cream of chicken soup in it. So you know, this just isn't the way that my family eats. We don't eat a lot of casserole. We eat more simply, you know, with a lot of fresh food, and this just wasn't that appealing. So what I did, I sat down and I put a list together. I should stand over here. I put a list together of at least 15 meals that my family will eat. And I kind of started my own menu library, and that way I had a visual reference of, you know, what meals are like. And I included things like all the side dishes that go with it. No, I didn't. I just listed the names. I did side dishes somewhere else. So if you'll notice, you can put together your own menu library and you can just keep adding to it. So the next step, what was really fun, when the kids came home with the elementary school lunch menu, they put it on a calendar for a whole month, and I'm like, oh my God, what a great idea. If the lunch ladies can figure out what, you know, all these kids are going to eat for a month, I can kind of figure that out. So I took that idea and put the two together. So I took my meal menu, my meal library, and I started plotting in my meals according to my family's availability in the month. I made room for leftovers. And I also, I know you can't see this, but this is part of the handout that's coming out, and also I can email it to you. And I also took into account when to go out to dinner, and if I wanted to try a new recipe, I would put a little asterisk. Let's say I want to have chicken one night, chicken dinner, and I put a little asterisk, and I stuck a recipe in my folder that said, hey, when you're preparing your shopping list, pull out that and make sure you get the ingredients for a new menu. And if it worked, I stuck it into my menu library. And I also figured out that my family was happy to eat the same meal at least 3 times a month. So that cut it down. So that way, you know, the 15 meals can go pretty far when you're using them 2 and 3 times in a month. Now that we've laid out our meals, we have our meal library, it's time to think about grocery shopping. Here's where my meal ingredients come in. I took each meal and I listed every ingredient that goes in each meal, including side dishes. And to keep it interesting, when I plot my dinners on my calendar, you know, you can switch it up with side dishes and sauces and stuff like that, so you're kind of hiding the same meal that you're having 3 times in a month. You can make them different if you want to. But I listed the ingredients because this will be a quick reference when I put together my shopping list. I really don't have to think about it over and over again. It's already right there. I do a quick inventory of the pantry and the freezer. I keep a list and I keep a running inventory and cross off things as I use them and add new things as they come. Again, this is a really easy way for you not to have to do a lot of running around and a lot of wondering what you have when you're at the grocery store and you're in the produce aisle. Do you need onions or not? You'll know if you have them. And then finally, you can make your list. I mean, after you've done your homework, this is all sitting down and relaxing while you're doing this. You can put your grocery list together and you're ready for the market. And so here's how you pull it all together, okay? You shop before the first week of the month. You buy your pantry items and your freezer items for the entire month. And you buy fresh food for the first week or week and a half, depending on what you're serving, what season it is, availability and things like that. And again, you know, plan seasonally. You shop before the third week of the month, and you buy your fresh food for the last couple of weeks. And that'll save quick pop-ins for things like fish and special desserts or anything like that you may need to pick up. So I like to keep my shopping list handy, keep it either in my phone or a piece of paper in my purse, so at any point in time it's there. I also keep a copy on the refrigerator so my family knows what's coming up. And I also keep a copy on the downstairs freezer. I just print it out and put it on the freezer, so if I have to go down and pull something out of the freezer, it's there and I don't have to run upstairs to figure it out. So that was my quick grocery and shopping and meal planning. And again, I think the forms kind of help guide you through it, so if you're interested, you have help. Okay, I think I hate laundry even more than meal planning. Who likes laundry? There are people that love laundry, I know that. So I'm looking for input too when you're done. We love to share. So, as an organizer, I'd like to just throw this out that, most of us have way too much clothes in our lives. Clothes are not that expensive. We have a lot of it. We tend to hang on to things that, oh, maybe they'll fit better in the spring. I like this. I know it has a little stain on it, but if I use a name tag, that's fine. It's really time now to we had Doreen Dove here, and she talked to us about, dressing for success. I mean, success doesn't mean wearing, clothes that don't fit you and clothes with stains. And it's a good time to just get rid of that and do it for your whole family, because trust me, when you do this and clean out your closets and your drawers, there's so much more space left. It's so much easier to get dressed. What you see is what you'll wear. That whole thing about socks, kids, especially if you have kids in the family or men, sorry, but there are a lot of loose socks around, and we always keep them thinking that we're going to find the other ones, but just toss them all out. Socks are inexpensive. Get different kinds of socks for your kids. That way you'll know how, whose are whose. Mary Ellen has a great way. She'll tell us about how she keeps socks together, and you'll figure out your system, and socks don't have to be a problem. I always like to tell my clients that you really only need 2 sets of sheets, pillowcases, pillows for that matter, blankets, and a comforter for each bed. If you have anything extra besides that, you should just donate that to your closest animal shelter, or Mission of Deeds takes bedding, because it really clogs up your life, your linen closet. Trying to decide which goes on which bed is so time consuming. Imagine just walking into your linen closet and seeing 1 set of sheet for this bed, because you already know the bed's made. You're going to strip the bed, throw it in the laundry, you put the next sheet on, you're done. And it makes life so much easier. And I say you should have the same thing for towels, washcloths, hand towels, things like that. We all have guests popping in once in a while, so maybe an extra set for guests are fine. But this is what I would do before you start any talk about laundry at all. You just have what you're going to use and what you like and what you need. Okay, here's my necessary elements, okay? You probably already have these, but this is what I use. I recommend a hamper for each person in each bedroom to call their very own. A lot of people don't use hangers, I've come to find out. I really recommend hanging up your clothes. It saves a lot of time and heartache in the long run getting dressed. Sometimes, when you have to get out of the house fast, and I call it fights with my closet, where you go in, you try something on, and it doesn't work, and you throw it in the corner, or you're looking for those tights, and they didn't ever get put back, and you pull them on, and they have blown out or wrinkles or something. I suggest trying to hang up as much as you can. I like these hangers on the left. They're these flocked hangers. You can find them in bulk anywhere. They're really thin. You can get a lot of clothes in your closet with those. But I still recommend nice wooden hangers for things like your suit, and coats in the coat closet and things like that. I think they need the weight. I think the smaller hangers don't really do justice to your heavier items. And when you have a hanger, you need a pole to hang things on. And I recommend, if you can't have one permanently near your wash and dryer, there's plenty of options for portable ones. Here are a couple ideas, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a bit. I think each family member needs their own laundry basket. You can put their names on it if necessary. And you should have an extra one for sheet and one for towels. If you have a small family, an extra one for sheets and towels works perfectly well. And by the washer and dryer, there should be some kind of sorting system. Mine's the floor, to be honest with you, but people might need a sorter, if that helps. Especially for kids, if they're coming down, you want to teach them early on, lights, darks, and colors, so they don't ruin the laundry. I mean, I'm not here to tell you kind of how to do your laundry, but this is kind of a system to keep yourself organized. I know people are very particular about their laundry, and a lot of people are so much better than I am about this kind of stuff, but here's just my method to keep things moving. I also highly recommend a surface near your washer or dryer to fold stuff. If you have front loaders, they have these interesting boards that you can put up to that straddle both machines. There's in the corner, somebody actually made one. I'm going to show you a picture of coming up. It looks very familiar. And here's a portable folding table that you can just, and very light. So if you just use it for when you're doing laundry and then put it away if you don't have the space, it really cuts down on a lot of time. Okay, here's my system. That's all. Those are all my clothes. No. Dirty clothes go into the hampers in each bedroom. I don't know how often you like to do the laundry. I don't do it every day. So that's why I have hampers in my home. And if you, so they need to be corralled somewhere, hopefully not on the floor. Kids and family members transfer laundry into the basket and deliver it to the laundry area. That way your hamper stays in the room, it's ready for the next load of clothes that get thrown in, and it's much lighter to carry a laundry basket to the laundry area. Hopefully, we'll start teaching everybody how to sort, so when they get off on their own, they're not all wearing pink clothes. And then it's fun to do your laundry because everything has been sorted and organized and right at your fingertips.
My husband did that load.
So I suggest the reason why you have the pole and the hangers and everything like that is it's so much easier to hang up your clothes right out of the dryer than to throw them in a laundry basket and bring them up and wait for a couple days to fold your clothes. I mean, it's just amazing how fast laundry will go if your system is set up and you can fold your clothes and throw them right into the designated baskets and hang them right up out of the dryer. Saves you so much time. Then each person comes down, they know that their laundry basket is waiting for them with clean clothes. They bring it up and they put it away immediately because everybody's really good at that part.
Absolutely.
And that way you can go and relax and have yourself a cup of tea or a glass of wine because you have so much extra time now because you don't have to do any ironing. Okay, here's my laundry room. Okay, I'm kidding. Here's my laundry room. But I had my husband put up hang poles with sturdy, I don't know, water pipes or something. But I just went and got a metal pipe at Home Depot. And I asked the nice people at TJ Maxx if I could have these little clothes divider things right there, and I have everybody's name. Because I do sort right out of the dryer into designated slots, and that way, you know, my family can then just go and pick up their clothes. It's not all mishmashed into each other, and they each have their own basket.
How many kids do you have?
I just have 2. So I have a family of 4. See my 4 bins? We each have our bin, and then towels and sheets. So I know it sounds like I have a million kids, but you know, I feel like I have laundry for a million kids. Okay, and that's my laundry system. Look at what Jen gave me.
I recognize that.
Because she's like, what's a life hack? So this was in the Sunday paper, I guess, rhymes with orange. So, you know, they used to be called Helpful Hints from Heloise, but now they have a nice name called Life Hacks. And I really love life hacks. I don't know why. It's like people collect, you know, marbles or something. I love these kind of ideas. So I just put something together really quickly to show you guys, and then we can open up and share and, you know, come up with some fun ideas of your own. But I have a lot of mine. How many people have used Pinterest? Who likes Pinterest here? Tons of people? Well, I'm telling you, that is such a great resource for all these kind of references. And I put a board together called Things to Make Your Life Easier under ACME Organizing. So if you're zooming around Pinterest and you like more of these things, you can go to my board and see an elaboration of some of these. Okay, look at this. What a great idea.
That is a great idea.
isn't it? Like, it's an egg carton, it saves you newspaper, throw that right in the grill, or you could take that to go if you're gonna make a fire somewhere, camping or whatever. I think that's brilliant. Look at this, what a great idea here. This is under your sink.
That's great.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, that's great.
I can't tell you how many times I tried to fill up that little soap dispenser under my sink and it drops and there's soap all over it, so they just got a long straw. Look, you never have to change it. Look how much time that saved you to go out and have fun. This is when you're in the drug deal. No. An easy way. Somebody threw a bunch of herbs in a blender and made kind of a paste with it, then threw it in a Ziploc bag, flatten it, put it in a freezer. And that way you're always going to have fresh herbs. You just snip off what you're looking for, and your herbs will stay fresh for a really long time, much longer than if you just had them in the refrigerator. Okay, command hooks. We love them. They do everything for everybody. Somebody used them for curtain rods.
Could have used that this weekend.
See? For you knitters out there, I threw that out. I'll tell you, there's a whole world out there for good uses for these bully clips, you know? It's so much fun. Go on Pinterest. Okay, this looks weird, but it's a really good idea. They line their refrigerator shelves with saran wrap. They use weird saran wrap.
Yeah.
But like, you know, all those drips that you get in your refrigerator? Gonzo.
Peel it off.
Duh. Okay, I have another really good idea. This is a live action demo. I spend a lot of time putting pictures up for my clients. And, you know, sometimes, this is by the famous artist John Coles. Can I get that on? On TV? He lives in Arlington. Here's a great way that you don't need anything but this tool and a hammer. This is a paint stirrer that I put a nail through. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So when I want to figure out where a picture goes, I hang it on my nail,
You know exactly.
Oh,
That's so smart.
and I can figure out where on the wall I'm interested in putting it. A little higher, a little lower, doesn't matter. But as long as you kind of let it hang by itself so it is caught at the heaviest part, then if I just press on the nail,
Oh my God, it's so smart.
your little mark or your hole is already ready for you to just drive your nail in. Don't you love that?
Yeah, it was great. Love that.
I love that. Okay.
We're very efficient.
What is that?
Okay, that's a pool noodle.
Yeah. What are they doing?
They're filling up a bucket. So it's a heavy bucket, that you're a mopping bucket. Instead of schlepping it into your sink and your counter, they just use a pool noodle to fill it up. Somebody also used a pool noodle when they have little kids to put under the fitted sheet in a bed to use as a bumper. Like if you're sleeping over somebody's house, you know, just bring a couple pool noodles. You know, you go down and you have a dinner party with your friends and you throw your kid in their grown-up bed and they won't fall out.
Oh.
That's
I thought that was a really good idea. You know, so much champagne goes bad. If you freeze it, you could just throw it into the next batch. Okay, Easter's coming up. We're dyeing eggs. We don't want to get our hands dirty. Throw it in a whisk.
Cool. How do you get it out?
They didn't have a blood pack picture on here. Medicines. You know the skirt hangers?
Yeah.
This gets stuff off the floor keeps your boots in good shape. So on my, in Pinterest, I collected a lot of these things like, when is the best time to buy certain items? Because you know, when you're always looking for something and you know, oh God, didn't I hear that like January is good for linens or stuff like that, and maybe it's February or something. So just plan ahead. I also have on that Pinterest list, like the 25 documents, life documents you need, and how to organize things like birth certificates, passports, social security information, things like that. How you can organize them in files or binders so they can quickly leave the house with you in case of a fire. All that stuff is on Pinterest, which is good to know.
Oh, that one great idea. That's clever.
What are those things from the vegetables?
Yeah, or bread.
Bread.
Oh, bread,
thingies.
yeah.
Okay, this is a great idea. Sorry, gentlemen, but you could use this too. This is great for shaving your legs. If you have dry legs, this baby oil gel is amazing to put on and use as shaving cream. And your legs are like so smooth for I don't know how many, couple of days. It just feels like you've gotten polished or something. It really feels good. And also in a pinch, when you're visiting somebody's friend and you want to shave your legs and you don't want to use soap, you can always use hair conditioner. That really works pretty well. This somebody used a cereal Tupperware bin, lined it with a trash bag and used it in their car. I would even go as far as maybe putting like a big stone in the bottom or something so it just doesn't get kicked around. Okay, love this. We got a couple of old cushions. Build me 3 in the backyard, please. There are, I guess, these little LED lights that you can just put in the back of your light outlet covers, and you can have night lights anywhere you want, and they look good, and you can still have your outlets free. I think I have a couple more. Again, trying to preserve some of your produce. You cut up all your scallions, you put them in a dry, empty water bottle and stick them in the freezer. And so when you actually need them, you can then just shake out as much as you want and the rest stay fresh for a while. Okay, so I gave my Pinterest pitch. And the other way, okay, here's a true confession. I had to put this program together with PowerPoint, and I did a lot of my documents in Word, right? And so when I wanted to transfer them over to over to PowerPoint, you can't transfer a document over to PowerPoint. So I'm like, oh my God. Here's how they taught me how to do it. It was so simple. It saved me so much time and so much sweat. I can't even tell you. So I suggest anytime you want to figure out how to do something, do it yourself. Before you call a plumber, before you call, a handyman, check out these resources, because really a lot of stuff is a lot simpler than you think, and it can save you time and can save you money. So thanks. And who else? Mary Ellen, tell us about your socks.
Well, it's really not my idea. It's my husband's anal idea. He makes the whole family pin your socks, or you get money. When the kids were little, they got allowance deducted from them. But our socks get pinned before they get in the laundry. We don't have any out socks.
Oh.
But after a while, we get holes in the toes. Or the heels.
But tell
Ethan's heels, Luke's toes. That's
yeah, you
where
pin at the heel or you pin at the toe.
We have a
depending on
big thing
who's
of
our
pins at the laundry, and they're on top of their dresser. Everyone who comes over like, what are all these pins around? But anyway, it's a silly thing, but it works.
Hey, I always remembered it.
Yeah.
Jen.
Well, Mary Ellen gives me Luke's hand-me-down for Henry. You get the big bag of clothes that just mysteriously show up, and then all these socks pinned together.
See, we
What's with
still
the
have
socks?
twine and pin them
And
together.
they're like, what? Because in my house, we don't do that.
Yeah.
I have a bin on top of the dryer, we call it the sock box.
Yeah.
And that's where they all go, because I have all boys, they don't care if they
Yeah,
match.
yeah.
Just get out of the sock box.
Two-
I
that's
spend so
somewhat
much time trying to match them.
Right, right.
Sally, do you have a system for organizing photographs? I've got like a bin of pictures.
Yeah, that's one of my
Years and years worth of pictures.
Well, I think we have a chamber member.
We do, we have
Who does
PSG
that?
Photo Solutions. Phil Griffith is the owner, and that's what he does.
What exactly does he do?
He'll help you sort through your photos, and he can organize them however you want, get them scanned or whatever
Yeah.
you want to do, so.
Okay,
This-
PSG.
PSG Photo Solutions. He's right in Arlington, he's a great guy. And if you go to his website, you'll see some of the stuff he does with the photos that, different clients have different projects. But,
Yeah, I'm just thinking ultimately some are gonna get tossed and some are gonna fall into
well, that's
down.
part of it, too. That's
Yeah.
coach you through it.
There's also a place in Newton, and I can get the name to you if you'd like. I don't have it off the top of my head, but they'll transfer all your images to, they'll scan them and
Yeah.
transfer them, and your videos and your pictures.
Yeah, I think they were featured on Chronicle, I think I know who you're
Yeah.
talking about. I
Yeah.
can't think of the name, but yeah.
But, it's all real time for people on the other side to do it, so there's no automatic way to do it. It's pretty much real time. So as much as you can figure out ahead of time, the
That's
more
my
money that
problem.
you'll save. That's the problem.
Yeah.
See, that's when you have a snow day
Yeah.
and you bring your bin or your box one at a time down in your living space, because mine's all up in the attic right now, and you just kind of do it a little at a time. I call it little nibbles, one drawer, one this, one that, and, don't look at a whole room, just
Right.
look
Yeah.
at a little piece. But did you have a,
Oh, what I do for my socks is I get those mesh laundry bags
yeah,
and we hang them on, like on our doors.
yeah,
So when the kids and we take our socks off, we put them right in the mesh bag and then everyone's socks are kept like their bag or their socks.
that's a brilliant way to do
And
it.
you just throw it,
Yeah.
the whole bag in the wash.
That's a great idea.
I did a big photo project once because I had that big bin. So I got the large Ziploc bags and I took a board and I tacked them in and I labeled them. So as I was going through the pile, I put photos of Henry, photos of Jason's, photos of Nate, photos of this trip, and I got them first organized just in packs so I could Ziploc them
Right.
and then go back later and then further identify them
I
if
like
you
that
want to
idea.
get into even better categories. But by having all those bags there, you just kind of went joop, 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 joop,
That's
joop,
great,
just like
that's a
that.
great idea.
And recycle bin.
Yeah, yeah, and a trash bin, literally, because there's all those bad photos you just never got rid of.
Right. Thank you.
So, what I do in my, on my computer, I have folders like that. I have each person, I have friends, I have my extended family. I just have these folders that every time I transfer pictures, I can just kind of put them in now. So going forward, at least I've done something going
Right.
forward if I still have the pile, a box up in the attic. Liz?
Sal,
Yeah.
I have a couple of comments and a couple of questions, if you don't mind. On the sock thing,
Yeah.
just a few more suggestions.
Yes.
Everybody's got socks
I love it.
suggested.
This is how we learn.
So you stick them in the drawer, you stick them in a bin. After 2 wash cycles, if you can't find the spare one, it either becomes a dust rag,
Right.
which is great, because you slip it on,
Yeah.
and get all that dust off. Or you can stick a bunch of chicken fat from whatever you've made, hang it outside, throw it up in the tree, and watch all the birdies.
Okay.
Probably might be squirrels, but, or you can, what we used them for during the last disaster, fill all the ice pellets into your sock. If they're thin enough, you should use nylon, but tie them up, throw them up on the roof, and they melt and form a channel so that you don't get ice jam.
Oh, what a great idea.
That's an idea.
Calcium chloride.
Also
works
on your ice, I'm
better.
sorry?
Calcium chloride works with that
There
as
you
well.
go,
Yeah.
that's
We-
right, those ice pellets. The ice, your Ziploc bag of pop that you showed everybody.
Yeah.
You can also, oh, that's right. You can also do that with your, so you make fresh pesto.
Yep.
You put the pesto in ice cube trays. then take that out, so you've got little cubes, you don't have to cut them off.
Yeah,
Also on your menu thing, I noticed you had 2 Greek dishes.
yes,
How about it? Can we have those recipes?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Coffee and
Next
a-
breakfast, I'll make a couple of big platters of moussaka.
All right, thank you.
You know, something else I forgot to put on here that I found was really kind of cool. You know how when you're moving furniture, I just did this week, and somebody's moving out of their apartment and the carpet has big dents where the furniture was? If you take ice cubes and you kind of just put it in those dents, as they melt slowly, it will loosen up the carpet to kind of pop the dent back out. If you like.
I was just going to mention with the shopping list,
Yeah.
having them around, if you go to the app store on the smartphone and
Yeah.
search for like shopping apps,
Yes.
they have amazing apps now where you can create a list and you can share it with your spouse, roommate, whoever. And if you buy something, you click it off the list and it automatically syncs with theirs. So when they go to the store, all they have is the current list.
There's tons of stuff out there like that, and that's also connected to couponing. Like you can stick your shopping list in another app, and it'll spit out all these coupons for what you're buying. So I mean, it's all out there. I just started getting really lost in all the options there, but it's fun. You know, if somebody figured this out, you might as well use this stuff.
I wonder what to do about like junk mail and kids' homework. So by the end of the week is all over my dining room table and all over the kitchen, and I just can't seem to keep up with it.
Well, there should be a designated area in your house for kids' papers. You know, like I have a cubby that I just stick important stuff in each kid's cubby. Stuff like homework and stuff should just get kind of chucked. I have a recycle bin right at my front door, so all the junk mail just doesn't even come into my house. It just goes right in there. And, you know, that's what I can suggest for kids' stuff. You know, we all know that kids bring home a lot of artwork, you know. You just take a picture of it, throw it away, put it in a frame. I have that in my house too.
For the junk mail, especially catalogs, I use Catalog Choice to sign up and automatically get rid of all those catalogs. Online, you sign up, create a profile, you just submit what the company is sending you that catalog you don't want, given the codes that are on near your name, and they take care of the rest.
Yeah, I think some of that stuff I pinned on my Pinterest stuff.
You can file reports, they'll send you stuff too.
Yeah. Did you?
Well, I think he just one up me.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I have a manual way to get rid of junk mail that I learned from a professional organizer friend in Lexington, but that might be a lot easier. I just want to, because I've been on this mission to get rid of junk mail. I've done it twice. I did it 2 months ago, and I had this much, and then I did it just last week, and I had this much again. I don't know where it all comes from, but I just wrote a little note like this, and what you have to just, if you do this, you have to be sure that you cut out your name and address and the barcode. I learned that because it wasn't working before. The barcode is what they scan to get rid of your email. So anyway, I just sort of made a note saying, you know, it's not good for the environment, and I'm no longer utilizing your products, so please remove it from your mailing list. And you have to actually physically just sign your name and then attach the barcode and your name. And if they're soliciting and there's an envelope inside, I just use the envelope.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and then just stick that little note, which
Yeah.
I cut and paste like 8 to a page, and then cut out the address and the barcode and stick them in. And they say you have to be patient, but after about 3 or 4 months, you'll really see a reduction. So,
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Hi Sally, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good. So I have a whiteboard in the kitchen inside a cupboard, and when the kids were done using ketchup, or they would finish cereal bars or whatever, rather than my going through and trying to figure out what they did, I said it goes on the whiteboard, so that's a running list.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We have a, magnet list on the fridge for that too. I'm sure we have a lot of that. Any other kind of things you want to save our lives with? Thank you, everybody. Did you put your